several years ago, before this latest, it wasn't a march on Washington, but it sure felt like it when you looked at the inauguration. You know, a big party over here. But I wrote this poem called Connections, and it was, I think it was a while ago. And I wrote it after a series of things, you know, people were talking about, well, what are you? Are you black? Are you a woman? Are you a dyke? Like, which fight are you gonna fight? And I was like, that's crazy, you know? Like, I mean, actually, I say a lot of cuss words with that. But the thing was, like, I don't, and still don't appreciate the idea that you can separate a being into a million pieces and call it a cause. So I ended up writing this poem called Connections, and it was right around, I think it was a march in '93. And so you'll hear some references to that, and I'll try to hopefully you'll make the connections we made, and if not, I'll try to make them afterwards. But the reason that I want to read it is because I do feel like right now, you know, I'm very excited about this new presidency, this new time for our country. I'm very, very excited. And I want to say I'm also very cognizant that there are going to be an innumerable amount of hate crimes. And it already started, you know, and it's not like they didn't happen yesterday or the day before he became president, but we got to get some self-defense, first of all, you know, but we also gonna have to remember our connections to each other, and I think it's really critical at this time because they're coming, you know, and by the they, I mean the big they, the haters, you know. So anyway, connections. There are connections between us, between the lines we've needed or been forced to draw with our blood across time, space, words, and wounds. On these New York streets, I've seen cracks in the sidewalk and grass earthing through like revolution, holding fast to one creed only. Keep going, baby, keep going. The crabgrass makes me think about where we, you and I, are going. It's a hard day when I realize I don't know any of my enemies personally. It's my friends I'm speaking to. Somehow we keep fighting the same battles over and over and over again and arguing over who's got it worse, who's at the bottom of the totem pole. And I don't mean to proselytize, but the totem pole is killing us and we're still dying here. And we're still using it, not knowing it's an ethnic slur. Me, I feel trapped in the middle of all this whirlpool. I feel like I'm on top of 3 mountains shooting at myself. I went to the March on Washington and saw a lot of white men together talking about we will no longer sit on the back of the bus. And somebody had the nerve to say there are a million Rosa Parks here. And I thought it's not about white guilt or even gay pride, but let's make sure the truth is being told. Because the Rosas couldn't make it to the march. And as for the back of the bus, whomever thought it up probably flew first class. So I'm not talking about not aligning with the struggles of my black peoples, because I understand the connections all too well. Just remember to take Emmett Till, Atlanta child murders, smallpox blankets, Stonewall, the treatment of Chinese railroaders, and apple pie all together. Every day in Harlem, I face a different kind of fear. Other black people screaming at me with their eyes because I'm in love with the way a woman is. One time a man said to my friend, he stood next to her and he said, I love you because you black and you my sister, but I think all faggots and backs should die. One time a friend said to my sister in the presence of enemies, you're not natural, then wanted to know why she felt unsafe. I want to know, does anyone fully comprehend this tapestry? Does anyone know how to sew all this together without mixing histories or trading truths for slogans? We are not all hanging from trees, standing in welfare lines, neck deep in sand, getting our heads kicked off into the sunset, though these things are being done as we speak. We are not all getting beat down at Stonewall. We are not all being dragged from our homes by our hair, by our husbands or friends, our lovers. We are not all dying the same way. We are all fighting to breathe, fighting to breathe.